Got yet another stack of 70's Calbee cards for you, so let's get into it. I'll start off with 73s. Got this nice one in very nice condition of Sohachi Anya, a pitcher. Pitching here for the Carp. This one is, I would say, maybe a little more scarce. Not one of the super rare 73s, but it's maybe one you don't quite see as often as others. And I have this one that I got of Isao Shibata. One of those dark stadium shots that's not really the best picture, but I did get this one pretty cheaply, maybe a couple hundred yen, so a couple bucks. And Shibata was a very, very long tenured member of the Yomiuri Giants. He was a switch hitter. He played for over 20 years. He is not a Hall of Famer, but remarkably, fun fact about him is that he was teammates with Sadaharu Oh for longer than even Shigeo Nagashima was. So that's kind of an interesting fact about him. Isao Shibata. I got a few of these. So the higher number 73s, starting, I want to say 300 or high 200, 290s maybe. Calbee kind of switches the 73 set to more kind of in-game action-oriented photography rather than the posed shots. That I actually prefer the posed shots, but some of these are pretty nice. I really like the pose on this one. So they say these high number ones, they say basically it's like heated battles, if you want to be dramatic about it, but it basically means like exciting games or exciting matchups. So there's this exciting matchup series, and this one is card 316. And that is actually Isao Harimoto, so the all-time hits leader during his time with the Fighters. You can see, I think that's a pretty nice image of him, nice pose. Pretty clean back too. It's got a little creasing right here, but that's all right. So when I get these 73s, these high number ones with the action shots and the, heated battles or exciting games series high numbers, I'm not like I don't really prioritize them with 73s, but I got these all pretty cheap, and they were in good condition. So I do pick them up here and then, any 73 that I don't have, if the price is right and I'm feeling it, I'll pick it up for sure. But these are nice. They're from the same high number run, the exciting games or heated battles series. And this one is showing the Giants celebrating their Central League pennant in 1973. And they would go on to win the Japan series for 9 consecutive. You might notice him, a little bit of a Where's Waldo, but that is Sadaharu Oh right there tipping his cap. And then I can also recognize the Isao Shibata, but you can also see his number 7, so you could, pick him out because of that if you don't know his face. I will say some of the other players, I can't as immediately recognize. So if you know who any of them are, do point them out. Another one in pretty nice condition. This one, again, I got this for a few hundred yen, maybe so a few bucks. It's a 73 Calbee. It's got Sadaharu Oh on it. Can't go wrong. Ditto this one. And this is O. So this is another high number, exciting game series. And this is O and pitcher Kazumi Takahashi. So pretty nice one there too. Nice gloss. Nice clean back. Another one that I picked up for pretty cheap. So then I got a fair number of 74s. So I'm doing a run of the first series of 1974 Calbee, so that is 72 cards. And I'm actually coming along pretty well on this. With these cards included, this is now the state of my checklist. As you can see, only a few cards left. This one, number 70, is going to be probably the biggest issue. That is a rare and pricey card of Frank Howard. The big Major League slugger Frank Howard, who came over to Japan to play, but unfortunately was injured in his first at bat with the Lions in MPB. So he played in one game and never played again. So I don't know the story. It might have been that Calbee pulled the Frank Howard cards, or because he got injured and then retired and said I'm done, or I'm not really sure. But anyway, the Frank Howard from this series is rare and pricey, so that'll be the biggest issue, but it is coming along. This one is number 9. Real nice card here of Tsuneo Horiuchi. Of course, the Giants ace during their V9 era. Real nice one there. And I got this nice one of Takashi Yoshida. Takashi Yoshida was the long-time understudy of the Giants' legendary catcher Masaki Mori. And this guy was basically a part-timer, a backup, or an understudy for about a decade. And these cards often talk about how he's got to take over for Mori, who's going to retire, or and things like that. So and he did eventually. Mori retired, I believe, after this season, and Yoshida became the catcher, but really didn't live up to Mori. So yeah, pretty interesting how this guy was a played understudy for about 10 years. Kind of bizarre to think about now that a guy would sit as the backup for 10 years. I don't know that would be the case today. You'd probably move him to another team, or he'd demand a trade or things like that. But those were the times. It may very well have been the case that he wanted to stay on the Giants because it was the team, particularly in those days. Okay, so then we're moving on from Takashi Yoshida to Takeshi Ueda. Lots of Takashis and Takeshis in this time. I'm reminded of I'll always, get a kick out of Pepino Man going through his 59 top set and counting all the dicks in the set. Those were the times. Lots of people named Dick back in the day. Different eras, different names. Takeshis and Takashis were pretty common in this time, so you're gonna see it's almost like having a lot of dicks in the set, right? You got a lot of Takeshis and Takashis in the set. This is Takeshi Ueda, and he was a kind of part-time player, backup, not a main guy. He's a shortstop, I think, mainly a shortstop. This is a nice card of him. All right, keeping track. Guess what? It's another Takeshi. This is Takeshi Yasuda. Takeshi Yasuda, pitcher for the Yakult Swallows. He had a pretty long, successful career, solid career. Not a Hall of Famer, though. This card is actually talking about on the back here. It talks about him going for 3 consecutive ERA titles. This was his 3rd year in pro baseball, and he won the ERA title, at least for the Central League, his first 2 years. as a pitcher, including as a rookie. He did not get 3 consecutive, but still pretty cool that he burst onto the scene with 2 consecutive ERA titles, including one as a rook. This one is the legendary Katsuya Nomura. As always, the guy that I always like to call the greatest player you've never heard of. Nomura, if you watch my channel, you don't need any introduction to him. He's second all time in hits, second all time in home runs as a catcher. Nomura arguably greater than O, to be honest, considering that he was a catcher. Arguably. O was pretty great. So, Katsuya Nomura. And then another guy who's pretty overlooked, his teammate for a very long time, Hiromitsu Kadota. Big slugger. He is actually third all time in home runs in Japanese baseball, so in MPB only. He is third behind O and his teammate Nomura. So nice one of him. And I've got this one of Lions pitcher Osamu Higashio. Higashio is a Hall of Famer. Real nice picture of him. I like that. I like that mountain in the back. That's just a really nice sort of. It's very subtle background, but you can see that nice, green mountain in the back. This is a really nice one. It's got some paper loss on the back, but this is one that's not too commonly found. I see it once in a while, but it's definitely not as common as some of the other ones. And then I've got Masashi Takenouchi of the Lions. And I have, this one is not for my Series 1 run. This would be a Series 2 card. It's number 84 in 74. And this card is actually, in terms of the player's name on it and who it talks about, it's actually Tatsuhiko Kimata, the Dragons catcher in the blue there that you can see right there. But you get a bonus. This is kind of cool because this is Koichi Tabuchi, Hall of Fame Tigers catcher, sliding in there. So this is a little catcher-on-catcher action right here. Kimata is not a Hall of Famer, but he's an all-time great Dragon and a known player. This one is definitely a scarce one. Some of these 74s, the lower number ones, especially the first and second series, a lot of these cards I just don't really see very many of for whatever reason. This one is fairly scarce, so I grabbed it. And then finally, speaking of scarce cards and Tigers, I also finally picked up another, I took another little chip out of my 1980 large run, which is a borderline impossible run I'm doing because these cards are rare as crap. Definitely card for card, not including the regional short printed issues and things like that, just sort of the normal releases. 1980 card for card is definitely the scarcest Calbee set. And I don't know why. Anyway, this is Akinobu Okada, and Akinobu Okada, this is number 45. Finally got to, as I said, I got to check off another one. Finally, I haven't done it in a while, because like I said, they're scarce. I got to check off number 45 on my 1980 Calbee large checklist. This is Series 1 and 2 that came in the large size, and Series 1 is scarce enough, but it's got nothing on Series 2, which, as you can see, tons of holes on that one. Man, these are so stinking rare. They never come up. And this is the first 1980 card I've gotten in months, maybe even close to a year. So anyway, got to check one off. But for his part, anyway, Akinobu Okada, he's a Tigers legend, not a Hall of Famer. But what's cool about this card is it is a rookie card. So Okada was a rookie in 1980. And Okada, as a player, was part of the Tigers' 1985 Japan Series Championship. And then, as a manager, as the manager, I should say, in 2023, he was part of their 2023 championship. So Okada, definitely an all-time great Tiger, but not a Hall of Famer, but a legendary player for the team and manager, I guess you could say, as well. All right, guys, that's what I got for you as always. Thanks for watching. Peace.